In the farthest, quietest corners of the universe, something began to stir. At first, it was barely more than a vibration, a soft pulse, a whisper beneath the silence of deep space. Most people never would have noticed it. Most people never would have felt it. But the galaxy is old, older than its planets, older than its civilizations, and old things have a way of remembering what the rest of us forget. That day, the hum returned. Some believed it was a warning, others believed it was a call. But for Ranki Sulitsi, a worn-out trader drifting between jobs and bad decisions, it felt like something else entirely. It felt personal. Ranki had spent years outrunning trouble, debt, enemies, and a few angry spouses. He'd survived asteroid storms, smuggler ambushes, cosmic parasites, and once an exploding vending machine. But none of that compared to the sound rising outside his cockpit window now. A violet glow, a strange vibration in the bones, a tear appearing in the fabric of space itself. The fracture! Ranki didn't know what it meant. He didn't know what it wanted. But he knew one thing: it wasn't natural. Space doesn't just rip, not without help. And then came Twitch. Small, round, glowing like a blueberry that discovered religion. Twitch floated into the cockpit with that innocent expression that somehow said, "I might accidentally destroy the galaxy before lunch." Ranki didn't choose Twitch. Twitch just appeared one day. And despite the chaos that followed them, Ranki never sent him away. Maybe because Twitch brought a spark of light into Ranki's otherwise worn-out world. Or maybe because Twitch had secrets even he didn't understand. As the fracture pulsed, Twitch's freckles glowed brighter, almost like they were responding, almost like they recognized something. Ranki felt the ship tremble. The hum deepened, pressing against his chest, vibrating through the metal of the cockpit. Something was coming. Something ancient. Something powerful. Something that had waited far too long to be found. Ranki didn't know it yet. But this was the first moment of a journey he couldn't escape. A journey that would drag him across star systems. A journey that would force him to face a twin he tried to forget. A journey tied to a power Twitch didn't know he carried. The hum kept rising, the fracture kept growing, and the universe watched. Because this wasn't an accident, this wasn't random. This was the beginning of something that had waited for centuries, something choosing its champions, something calling them forward. And whether Ranki was ready or not, he had already been chosen.
A warning before reality breaks.
The hum didn't fade. It chased them through the void, growing louder with every passing mile. Ranki felt it in his bones, in the ship's hull, in the quiet places where instinct whispers before thought does. Then came the shaking. A violent jolt tore through the cockpit. Warning lights exploded across the console like fireworks made of bad news. Ranki slammed both hands onto the controls, trying to keep the ship steady. Through the clouds, the planet revealed itself. Varnock 7, a world built entirely from glowing crystal spires, rising like ancient teeth from the surface. Blue light shimmered beneath violet clouds, bending in ways that made no physical sense. Twitch floated beside him, glowing freckles pulsing stronger than ever. Each pulse synced perfectly with the hum. Ranki had no idea what that meant. But whatever it was, he knew it wasn't good. The descent grew rough. The ship lurched sideways, engines whining in protest. Crystal dust streaked across the windows like falling stars. Every time Twitch's glow brightened, the ship jerked in a new direction, as if the planet was responding to him. Ranki cursed under his breath and tried to correct their course. It didn't help. They slammed into the ground hard, skidding across a field of giant crystal pillars until finally grinding to a stop in a cloud of glowing dust. Silence. Then the hum again, steady, rhythmic, impossibly alive. Ranki stumbled out of the ship first, boots crunching on neon blue crystal fragments. The air shimmered with color, vibrating with energy that felt ancient and aware. The planet wasn't just glowing, it was watching. Twitch drifted out behind him, looking overwhelmed and uncertain. Then his freckles flared, and every crystal within sight lit up in response. Ranki froze. That wasn't coincidence. That wasn't normal. That was connection. The crystals recognized Twitch, responded to him, reacted to his very presence. Ranki didn't know what that meant. Not yet. But he knew one thing for certain. Something on this planet had called them here, and whatever it wasn't done with them. Varnock 7 wasn't empty. It wasn't abandoned. It was waiting. Ranki moved carefully through the glowing canyon paths, boots kicking up neon dust with every step. The hum of the planet echoed through the stone, pulsing like a heartbeat beneath their feet. Twitch floated beside him, glowing freckles reflecting off every crystal surface. The little alien turned slowly in the air, watching shimmering shapes dance beneath the surface of the pillars. The crystals weren't just reacting to Twitch, they were studying him. Ranki hated that. The valley opened into a sprawling outpost built right into the crystal formations. Stalls carved from luminous stone, walkways suspended over glowing ravines, figures moving in the haze. The entire settlement looked like a marketplace carved by ancient hands and maintained by people who'd learned to live with the hum long ago. But it was quiet. Too quiet. Then a voice cut through the stillness. "You the one they're looking for?" Ranki turned, hand on his revolver. A miner stepped forward, face lit by the reflections of a datapad. The crystal light made him look older, sharper, like time had etched him into the planet itself. "You look just like him," the miner said. Ranki froze. Twitch dimmed slightly. The miner flipped the datapad around, and there he was. Ranki, but not Ranki. Same face. Same jaw, same stance, different eyes. Violet, but burning brighter. Wilder, focused, dangerous, dunky. He'd been here, recently. Ranki felt a ripple of emotions, anger, confusion, dread. The twin he tried to forget. The one who always pushed harder, wanted more, demanded more. If Danki was involved, the hum wasn't just a mystery anymore. It was a warning. The miner spoke again. He was asking about the stone. Said he was tracking a signal, something humming to him. Ranki swallowed hard. Of course he was. The miner pointed toward the horizon, where crystal structures twisted like frozen lightning. He went that way, toward the deep fields. Twitch trembled. His freckles flickered rapidly, sinking with a faint hum, echoing from the same direction. Ranki didn't say anything. He didn't have to. He knew Danki was ahead of them. He knew this was no coincidence. As they walked toward the crystalline horizon, the hum grew stronger, and the shadows inside the crystals shifted into forms that didn't belong. Something else had been here too, and Ranki had the sinking feeling it was following them now.
A warning before reality breaks.
The deeper Ranki and Twitch walked into the crystalline outpost, the louder the hum became. It wasn't just in the air anymore, it was in the stone, in the ground, in their bones. But Ranki noticed something else too, the way the workers moved faster, the way their eyes flicked toward the sky, the way every voice dropped to a whisper when the hum shifted pitch. They weren't afraid of Ranki. They weren't even afraid of Twitch. They were afraid of something else. The first sign came as a flicker, a brief glitch in the sky. Then the light in every crystal pillar snapped from soft blue to violent violet, and the hum roared. The air tore open. A fracture ripped across the marketplace, spiraling in midair like a wound in reality. Shards of light spun outward. People screamed and dove for cover. Ranki grabbed Twitch and pulled him behind an overturned cart as a second fracture split open above them. Energy crackled across the ground like living lightning. Twitch floated forward, trembling. His freckles weren't just glowing, they were surging in perfect sync with the fracture. Ranki tried to stop him, but Twitch drifted into the open. The fractures spiraled violently toward him. The light bent like it recognized him. Twitch lifted his tiny arms, and the entire world slowed. A soft pulse rippled outward from his body. The fractures hesitated, twisted, then snapped shut all at once. Silence. The crystals dimmed. The hum faded. Ranki scooped up the exhausted alien, and in the deepest crystal nearby, something moved, something watching, something that came through with the fracture. Deep beneath the surface of Varnock 7, far below the market chaos above, Ranki and Twitch entered a chamber untouched by time. The deeper they went, the louder the hum became. It wasn't just a sound. It was a pulse, a heartbeat of the planet itself, vibrating through stone and bone alike. Ranki stepped forward carefully, boots crunching against ancient crystal dust. His glowing violet eyes reflected off every shimmering surface, casting faint purple ripples across the cavern walls. He'd seen strange things in the galaxy before, but nothing like this. Twitch hovered beside him, unusually silent. His neon freckles flickered in an uneasy rhythm, brighter with every pulse the chamber released. Something was calling to him, not with words but with pure resonance, and then they saw it, the humming stone, suspended on a natural crystal pedestal. The stone pulsed like a living organ carved from light. Deep cyan waves rolled through it, followed by a soft violet glow that matched Ranki's eyes. The chamber air thickened, the gravity wavered, dust lifted from the ground like the cave itself was slowly exhaling. Ranki raised a hand. Easy, Twitch. We don't know what this thing is capable of, but Twitch drifted forward anyway. The freckles scattered across his surface lit up, pulsing faster, sinking to the stone's rhythm. The closer he floated, the stronger the pulses became, until Ranki felt them through his coat, in his lungs, in his heartbeat. Something moved in the walls. Ranki froze. A silhouette, tall, fractured, watching, flickered within a crystal slab. The shattered choir, one of the ancient wraiths born from broken harmonics. Ranki cursed under his breath and reached for Twitch. "Buddy, we need to go. Now!" But the stone surged. A deep, harmonic blast rolled through the chamber, shaking crystals loose from the ceiling. Twitch's glow intensified until he was almost blinding, his freckles roaring in neon waves. Ranki shielded his eyes as another pulse hit. The stone brightened. The air shimmered. The resonance grew sharp enough to taste, metallic, electric, ancient. Then Twitch touched the stone. A violent burst of blue cyan-violet light blasted outward. Ranki was thrown to the ground, sliding across the crystal floor as the entire chamber erupted in cascading light. The sound became a roar, 1,000 harmonic frequencies screaming at once. The stone cracked down its center, splintering into floating shards that rotated around Twitch in a slow cosmic dance. And then, silence. The shards lost their glow. The hum died. The chamber dimmed to black. Twitch gently drifted downward, his light fading, freckles nearly extinguished. Ranki scrambled to his feet and caught him before he hit the ground, holding his friend close as the last echoes of the stone vibrated away. In the crystal wall, the silhouette of the shattered choir slowly retreated, watching, waiting, as the darkness swallowed the chamber whole. Nothing in Galaxy 3693 would be the same again.
A warning before reality breaks.
Light was dying in the alien caverns, and Twitch's glow was barely holding on. His blue body flickered weakly as his orange freckles dimmed. Floating low in Ranki's hands like a fading ember, the ground shook beneath them, dust drifting down as the cavern groaned, with the sound of a world falling apart. Ranki knelt beside his tiny companion, violet light glowing in his eyes. He looked exhausted and beaten, but not for a moment did he let Twitch slip. A gentle touch across the alien's round surface brought out a faint, trembling chirp. Twitch whispered through weak breath, trying to stay himself even now. Ranki stood, holding him close. Behind them, the shattered crystal pedestal pulsed with corrupted red-violet light. The last heartbeat of a sacred place turned violent. The tunnel ahead flickered with glitching crystal walls, shifting between shapes like a broken memory. Twitch clung to Ranki's coat with his tiny stick limbs as his glow fluttered, trying to stay bright. A violent tremor hit and Ranki stumbled, catching Twitch instantly as the little alien flailed. Twitch yelped in panic, but Ranki kept him steady as the cavern opened into a vast chamber, a cathedral carved from ancient blue crystal, now drowned in red corruption. Dust drifted like ashes from a dying world. Twitch tapped Ranki's chest with one thin arm, freckles glowing just enough to say he was still here. The world answered with another scream. Crystal columns cracked and collapsed, shards raining in a storm of color and light. Ranki pressed forward, holding Twitch close and watching the unstable ground shift beneath them. High above, hidden in the shadows, a figure watched. Ranki stood on a distant ledge, deep blue hair hanging over fracture-violet eyes that glowed with cruel certainty. He didn't shout. He didn't move. He didn't need to. His presence alone felt like the end of something important. Ranki pushed onward, unaware of the gaze following every step. Twitch AS light flickered weakly as the tunnel behind them crumbled and the air shook with another wave of corruption. In the shadows, Ranki stepped back and vanished. In these collapsing caverns, the darkness was patient, and it always came for the light. The roar of the collapsing humming stone faded behind them, swallowed by the quiet of a deeper world. As Ranki stepped from the narrow tunnel, the corrupted glow died away, and an ancient blue haze took its place. The air felt older, like it remembered things the planet above had forgotten. In his arms, Twitch stirred. Orange freckles pulsed in uneven rhythm across his small, blue, berry-shaped body. Okay, something's calling me. And historically, that's never good. Ranki didn't slow. He stepped into a massive chamber carved from stone, older than any map. Crystal towers spiraled toward the ceiling. Faint circular glyphs flickered awake the moment Twitch entered, sinking to the glow in his freckles. Twitch raised one shaky stick arm. The glyphs brightened instantly. Ranki, why am I matching the wallpaper? If I turn into decor, I swear I'm haunting somebody. The chamber glitched around them, pillars shifting with stuttering movements, like reality-skipping frames. Red-violet corruption crawled across the floor like shattered lightning. Ranki stepped in front of him. Don't touch anything. But Twitch was already being pulled toward the glowing glyphs. When he reached out, a violent pulse tore through the room, crystals cracked overhead. Twitch stumbled into Ranki's chest, red lips trembling. The chamber darkened. A figure stepped out of the high shadows. Ranki's twisted reflection, same build, same stance, but eyes fractured into shimmering violet shards. Messy, deep blue hair hanging over a face carved from cold intent. He didn't speak, he didn't need to. He understood exactly what Twitch was. The chamber reacted violently now, glyphs spasming with light, crystals splitting open, corruption racing across the floor. Twitch yelped, clinging to Ranki's coat. Bad room, can we not be here? Ranki grabbed him and ran. Resonance surged behind them like a storm trying to swallow them whole. Twitch yelled nonsense directions. Ranki ignored most of them. The ancient chamber tore itself apart with every step. Ranki never moved. He stood perfectly still as the world collapsed around him, watching Ranki disappear into the dark. Only then did he step backward and melt into the shadow as the chamber fell. The hum faded into silence.
A warning before reality breaks.
The echoes of the collapsing chamber chased them through the tunnel, swallowed by ancient stone. Ranki, blue-purple skin catching the dim haze, messy deep red hair blowing behind him, violet eyes glowing like live embers. Coat and shirt fully on, held Twitch tight as he ran. The resonance hum followed them like a heartbeat that belonged to something far older and far hungrier. Twitch's orange freckles flashed across his blueberry-shaped body, his oversized bright red lips pulled into a panicked grimace. Okay, Ranki, just saying it now. Whatever's behind us is faster, louder, and statistically way uglier than anything we want to meet. Ranki didn't answer. He entered a hall carved from stone older than any star map. Blue crystals cracked beneath veins of red-violet corruption. The floor shook with every resonance pulse. Twitch jabbed a stick arm forward. Left, no, right. No, okay, everything looks terrible. Pick the one that hates us least. 2 tunnels collapsed instantly. Ranki pivoted and sprinted, shielding Twitch from falling shards. A glitch ripple twisted the air. Twitch floated upward, yanked by invisible force, until Ranki grabbed him down. Hey, evil gravity! At least buy me dinner first. Another resonance pulse surged. Crystal fragments burst in slow motion as Ranki pressed forward. High above, a figure stepped from the shadows. Danki, blue-purple corrupted skin, deep blue hair, fractured violet eyes glowing like shattered crystal. His black high-collar coat, fully sealed from neck to waist, stood motionless on the ledge. He raised his corrupted pistol, not to fire, but to mark the moment. Ranki and Twitch burst into a wide chamber as the floor split beneath them. Ranki leapt across widening cracks, while corruption chased them like red lightning. Twitch clung to Ranki. I'd like to officially resign from running into collapsing rooms, effective immediately. Ranki skidded to a halt before a massive stone door etched with circular glyphs. The symbols flickered weakly, then surged when Twitch's glowing freckles neared them. A deep rumble rolled through the stone. The center glyph rotated open into darkness. Twitch whispered, "Ranki, doors don't open for me. That's bad, right?" The resonance hum swelled as the door opened wider, waiting.
A warning before reality breaks.
The silence of the whisper vault was a living thing, a pressure against the ears. Ranki stepped from the narrow passage into the immense chamber. His worn and rugged tan duster shifting with the motion, and the long sleeves of his midnight blue shirt visible beneath it. His royal blue skin caught the faint glow of the chamber, and his bright fire-red hair hung in slightly messy strands near his jawline. His hand rested on the grip of his holstered plasma revolver as he scanned the darkness with glowing violet eyes. Behind him, Twitch wobbled into view, a chubby, round cobalt blue floating alien whose glossy spherical body bounced with nervous energy. His huge bright red lips and large violet eyes stayed fixed on the front upper portion of his face, while the glowing orange freckles across his cheeks pulsed anxiously. His tiny stick arms flailed as he drifted forward, staying close behind Ranki. The air hummed, thick with soft blue haze and the dust of millennia. Floating crystal shards rotated in a silent cosmic dance, casting shifting patterns of light across carved stone walls where glowing glyphs drifted like living thoughts. Ranki moved with the caution of a frontier traveler who knew ancient places guarded their secrets without mercy. He paused as the spiraling glyphs carved into the floor shifted beneath him, reacting to his presence as though remembering something long forgotten. While Ranki studied the architecture, Twitch felt drawn by a different force entirely. His chubby round body drifted toward one of the stone walls, freckles flashing as they resonated with the drifting glyph light. He was hearing something that Ranki could not, a hidden frequency vibrating deep within the builder stone, a whisper meant only for him. Without warning, the massive suspended crystal at the heart of the vault pulsed with a flood of blinding light. The low hum swelled into a deep, powerful thrum. Ranki lifted an arm to shield his eyes, his rugged tan duster rippling from the sudden surge of energy. With his other hand, he drew a plasma revolver, though the vault's attention clearly wasn't on him. A focused beam of shimmering energy shot from the central crystal, not a weapon, but a summons. It enveloped Twitch completely, lifting the chubby round alien into the air. He didn't struggle. His violet eyes widened as he was pulled into the swirling vortex of vibrating light and flowing data. His freckles erupted into bright orange bursts as he became a luminous conduit of information. A breathtaking star map exploded around him. forming a vast three-dimensional lattice of nebulae, star systems, and interconnected pathways of light. Twitch hovered at its center, a chubby round key unlocking a design far older than either of them had imagined. Ranki stood frozen, watching as his own assumptions dissolved in the glow of the revelation. The vault had not been waiting for a warrior in a rugged duster. It had been waiting for a listener, someone who heard its whisper. As the swirling light receded, Twitch floated gently back to the floor, his spherical body wobbling slightly as he regained balance. His freckles dimmed to a steady glow. His large violet eyes, once simply expressive, now radiated cosmic understanding. He turned toward a blank section of the far wall and pointed a tiny stick arm with certainty. He knew the way.
A warning before reality breaks. A warning.
The Whisper Vault did not end with the blinding pulse of its revelation. As the light faded, a narrow fissure in the stone yawned open before Ranki and Twitch, as if carved by the vault's own will. Ranki stepped through first, his worn and rugged tan duster brushing the edges of the passage. His royal blue skin reflected the shifting glyph light, and his messy fire-red hair flickered in the dim glow. Behind him, Twitch wobbled nervously, his chubby cobalt blue round body trembling as his freckles pulsed with the lingering resonance of the vault. The narrow corridor hummed with a familiar energy, the same deep vibration that had chosen Twitch. Glyphs carved into the walls drifted like living symbols, sliding away from Ranki's touch. His violet eyes scanned each shifting pattern carefully, reading what little he could from the builder stone. Twitch hovered close, glowing freckles flashing in hurried bursts. Something in the walls was calling to him again. He drifted ahead in a jittery wobble, his huge red lips and large violet eyes fixed on the far end of the passage. The hum grew stronger. A pulse of light raced down the corridor, igniting the glyphs in a wave of motion. Twitch reacted instantly. His freckles flared bright orange, throwing dancing reflections across Ranki's rugged duster and midnight blue sleeves. Ranki steadied himself, hand drifting toward the grip of his holstered plasma revolver. The glyphs answered Twitch's presence. Light swirled, walls brightened, and floating crystal fragments drifted from the shadows toward the chubby alien, trembling with recognition. The passage widened into a circular chamber ahead, its suspended crystal node awakening with a resonant chime. Without a word, Twitch drifted into the center of the chamber. The node projected swirling symbols around him, streams of ancient information shaping themselves for his eyes alone. Ranki's duster trailed behind him as he followed, watching as the chamber focused its entire consciousness on Twitch. The floor glyphs reorganized, forming a glowing directional path. It pulsed only when Twitch moved near it. Ranki watched as the meaning settled over him. The builders had embedded guidance, and Twitch was the one able to activate it. Twitch pointed one tiny stick arm toward a newly revealed opening in the far wall, freckles glowing warmly with certainty. Ranki nodded once, adjusting the shoulders of his worn and rugged duster. Together they continued deeper into the ancient unknown.
A warning before reality breaks.
The ascent corridor glowed like a rising breath of ancient energy. Ranki stepped forward first, his royal blue skin shimmering beneath drifting glyph light. His messy fire-red hair flickered along his jawline, and his hunter-green long-sleeve shirt moved beneath the straps of his tactical harness. The twin holsters at his hips tapped softly as he advanced. Twitch floated nervously beside him, small, unmistakably alien, and absolutely nothing like a human. His body was formed from two stacked red spheres, a large upper sphere with glossy black eyes and faint white freckles, and a smaller lower sphere with tiny dangling legs. Short, strong arms jutted from the upper sphere as he hovered in a jittery panic wobble. "I swear these hallways are judging me," Twitch muttered. "I can feel it in my spheres." Ranki brushed a hand across the glowing glyphs spiraling along the wall. "The vault still recognizes you." "That's the problem," Twitch shot back. "I'm basically a floating red alarm for ancient magic." Ahead, the corridor widened into a tall resonance chamber. Floating crystal clusters rotated slowly until Twitch drifted in. Then they turned sharply toward his two-sphere silhouette, following his red shape precisely. Ranki paused, violet eyes narrowing. "Still keyed to you, only you." Twitch bobbled in alarm. His freckles pulsed white.
Why am I the key? I'm not even the responsible one.
A deep harmonic pulse rolled through the chamber. Glyphs streamed across the floor like cascading rivers of light. Twitch's freckles and veins suddenly blazed bright white as the resonance hit him. His entire double-sphere body shook wildly. Nope, nope, bad. I don't like sparkling. The far wall responded instantly. Massive stone plates folded upward in perfect mechanical sequence, revealing a glowing vertical shaft. Light poured down like a column of starlight. Ranki shielded his eyes with a royal blue hand. Bright reflections glimmered across his hunter green shirt and tactical gear. That's the exit. Twitch's glow gradually faded to normal white. He pointed upward with one stubby alien arm. Okay, up it is, preferably without the glowing next time. Ranki nodded and tightened the straps of his tactical harness before stepping toward the shaft. Together they rose into the radiant corridor, ascending toward the world above. But far above them, hidden in fractured stone and shadow, another presence watched. Donkey. His dusk blue skin caught a faint shimmer. His dark blue hair hung across fracture-violet eyes that glowed with quiet intent. The structured dark cloak wrapped around him hid most of his form, save for the corrupted tech holster gleaming beneath it. He said nothing, but he had seen everything.
A warning before reality breaks.
Ranki ascended through the builder shaft with steady, controlled motion, his lean blue alien form outlined by the rising bands of glyph light. The hunter green plates of his armor caught each pulse of illumination as the wind swept past him, tugging at the hem of his short tan duster. His fire-red hair shifted across his angular features, and his violet slit pupil eyes narrowed as he scanned the vertical tunnel ahead. Beside him floated Twitch, doing everything except staying calm. The small red alien creature wobbled in place, his stubby arms flailing as the air currents nudged him. His glossy black eyes were wide with alarm, and his freckles flickered in uneven bursts. Okay, Ranki, Twitch muttered. Why is the air humming? Why is the light humming? Why is the everything humming? Ranki didn't break focus. Because this place is waking up. Oh good, Twitch said, wobbling closer. Because I was worried it was just me losing my mind. Again, the walls of the shaft reacted to their ascent, each ancient glyph flaring with deeper violet radiance. Floating crystals drifted upward around Ranki's armored limbs, brushing the air with faint chiming tones. As the pair rose higher, the wind intensified, bending Ranki's duster outward and tossing Twitch in uneven spins. Ranki, Twitch whined. If the wind gets any stronger, I'm going to achieve flight whether I want to or not. You already float, Ranki replied. That's completely different, and you know it. The cavern mouth appeared above them, a widening halo of blinding light framed by stone carved in impossible patterns. The rushing air carried the scent of the surface, cold, bright, and unfamiliar, and then Ranki felt it. High on a distant ledge, where shadows clung to the carved walls, stood a figure. A tall, dusk-blue alien shape, still as carved obsidian. Neon blue hair caught the faintest glimmer of light, and fracture-violet eyes burned through the darkness. Danke watched in silence. The hum of the ancient structure deepened as Ranki and Twitch rose into the final stretch. Glyphs flared in perfect rhythm. Crystals spun in widening arcs. The wind built to a final, howling push, and then broke. The pair emerged into open space, the sudden quiet amplified by the vastness of the alien landscape beyond. The stone ledge stretched before them, overlooking rolling terrain illuminated by the strange sun. Ranki stepped forward, the plates of his armor gleaming once under the sky's pale glow. Twitch drifted beside him, freckles dimming as the energy eased. Okay, he whispered. This is actually kind of nice. Terrifying, yes, but nice. Ranki took in the horizon with a steady breath. We made it, he said. The surface, finally. Twitch bobbed nervously. Yeah, great, perfect, beautiful. And, we should probably keep moving before that shadow guy does something dramatic. Ranki allowed himself the faintest smile. Then let's go. Together they stepped toward the light, leaving the sleeping cavern behind and a silent watcher above.
A warning before reality breaks.